Hi everyone, I hope that you're doing well. Only had a couple people join us for the Google Hangout that was scheduled for earlier this afternoon, so I wanted to send out a screencast of the agenda and the things we discussed within the Hangout itself. So first of all, looking at the week ahead for EDUC 643, continue progressing in your Goodreads book group. Please do not get behind because your participation is crucial so that the dialogue can take place on the Goodreads site. Again, another reminder, we are not the only course using Goodreads this semester. There are two other sections of EDUC 643 that are also on Goodreads. So again, make sure your participation is timely on the site so the discussion can be continued between this class and other classes. In the standards-based grading text, we are focusing on Chapter 3 this week. From your discussion board post for Chapters 1 and 2, I've seen a lot of positive feedback from Dr. Marzano's text, and I hope that continues for the remainder of this class. In looking at Chapter 3, the focus there is on a need for a new scale. Like a lot of you, I was very focused on the 100-point grading scale when I was in the classroom, and Chapter 3 does a nice job of backing up the need for the development of a new scale. There are some exercises within Chapter 3. Completing those would be very beneficial to you in order for your discussion board post to be as in-depth as it needs to be. Keep in mind that within your discussion board post, your original post, I'm looking for proof or evidence that you have read the text and that you've internalized it. So picking a quote from the text without any support of how that can change practices in your classroom or other implications for your school or your specific classroom is not sufficient. So make sure you're citing, but then having the implications there to back up the citation. For the capstone for the upcoming week, we're continuing to look at chapters 1, 2, and 3. All of you by this point should have feedback via task stream. If you do not, you need to email me immediately so that I can locate your capstone and provide you feedback as soon as possible. For those of you who are still working through the IRB process, again, the IRB process is housed on Trello, Trello. And then Dr. Taylor, who is the chair of middle grades here at Gardner Webb, will be the one that will approve your IRB. If you are still working through the IRB process, I will be more than happy and would actually prefer if you would email me your IRB questions and the drafts of your IRB first so that we can run some interference before that goes over to Dr. Taylor. And again, that can be completed via Gardner Webb email. Again, as I've already mentioned, Chapter 3 is about making the need for a new grading skill in schools. Again, another note, make sure your discussion board post prove to me you've read the material and have a strong relation to your teaching experiences. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself on the agenda in recording the screencast. I've been looking at some of your capstone journals and just wanted to remind you of the requirements needed for a successful capstone journal post on Blackboard. I do things a little differently than other professors, and I wanted to provide you with the things that I look for specifically while grading your capstone journals. First of all, I'm looking for an honest and a candid journal. There's no need to fluff here. It is what it is in terms of capstone development. So again, your honesty and you being candid are greatly appreciated by me and also by other students. I'm looking for specific information on where you currently stand with the development of your capstone. Again, that information needs to be specific. List things that you're working on, list things that you're researching, list things that you have questions about. After you have discussed where you currently stand, then list some specific goals you have that you want to be completed in terms of your capstone before the next capstone journal submission. In the online environment, I found this adds an extra layer of accountability with capstone development. So again, make sure you're listing where you currently are, as well as goals that you want to have completed before the next capstone journal submission. And then a big thing I noticed with this group is I do not just want a listing of the professional teaching standards. I want to know how those standards were met through the capstone process. So for example, don't just list at the end of your capstone journal that this capstone journal meets professional teaching standard 4.1. Tell me the story behind how your capstone journal helps you to increase your understanding and your ratings with 4.1. Just a heads up for everyone regarding your Twitter project. Again, I cannot tell you how important it is to know the requirements of the Twitter project ahead of time. You can certainly visit and understand the requirements on the rubric that is already posted to Blackboard. Another reminder that the weekly standards-based grading chat occurs on Wednesday evenings from 9 to 10. And again, you can access the standards-based grading chat by going to Twitter and then typing in the hashtag #SBG chat. And then you can see all of the tweets that have been designated to standards-based grading. When you are involved in the Twitter chat, don't forget to put in the hashtag #SBG chat at the end of your tweets. That way your tweets will be housed with the other tweets concerning the standards-based grading chat. And again, I can't underscore the importance of this. Make sure you're keeping documentation of your involvement throughout the semester on Twitter. This is not something that you want to wait until the last minute to go back and get your documentation for, because then the assignment doesn't have nearly the importance that it could have in your development of standards-based grading, or the development of the understanding of standards-based grading. As always, I'll be happy to take any questions or concerns that you would have. You can certainly email me or call me at any time, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. A lot of you already have some feedback on TaskStream for your capstone. I'm sure that you'll have some questions after reviewing my feedback. Please know I'm happy to schedule a time to meet with you individually. We can do a phone conference or a Join Me conference. You certainly don't have to come to Gardner Webb, but I do want to make sure that your questions are answered in a timely manner. I know the time requirement of writing a capstone in an accelerated format while teaching full-time, while family responsibilities can be overwhelming at times. That's why I want to make sure your questions are answered as soon as possible. So don't be hesitant to call me and conference to get your questions answered. Thank you so much. Next week, September 17th, we'll schedule a Google Hangout for those of you who can attend at 4 o'clock. Again, September 17th at 4 o'clock. Hope each of you have a great week. Thank you.